Big hands. Laura, ready? Kurt, ready?
Yeah. Special.
I've heard that.
I'll get you.
Well, he should last 85 years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's what I told them, I said, they're getting around, and they're trying to get everybody to move around until they get a line. Once they get that line.
Thank you.
Didn't mean to abrupt and wind it down that quickly. So. Certainly, and welcome on this beautiful autumn day the Lord gave us. We'd like to ask very quickly here if anybody has anything the agenda they want to add or any amendments here we need to review.
I think Ron may want. Ron, did you want to discuss under zoning the proposal that was made last night?
Okay, Ron will give you the floor for that.
My name is Ronald Nemec, and I'm...
Well, we did get the zone report there, Ron. I'll give that to you then.
Did you get, it's okay.
Guy got a lot of energy, if you know Ron.
Do you want an agenda? Did you get one? Did you get an agenda? I can make a copy. And then under fire, well, you just left it as fire, huh, already?
Yeah, fire, we've had requests, we want to put a PowerPoint on. We know Tommy DePortia, one of our paramedics, and we have several members from the fire department going to put that on. It should be enjoyable. 15 minutes, Tom?
15, 20 minutes.
Okay. That's all then. I'd like to establish we have a roll call, so a quorum to do our business tonight. Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Morrison?
Here.
Trustee Spellman here. And we have Fiscal Officer Karen Gritty. Can we join in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We've had the minutes sent to us early. We had an opportunity to review those and make any of those changes. Kind of a motion to accept them is...
I'll make a motion to accept them as we reviewed.
There's two sets. Two sets.
It would cover our special meeting from the 23rd of September, as well as the regular meeting, September 10th.
I make a motion, or I second the motion to accept both the minutes for the special and the regular meeting from last month.
I'll take a vote on that. Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Morrison?
Yes.
Trustee Spellman, yes. And if there's anybody who wants to review those minutes, the second set of minutes, we can make a request. We don't have them tonight, but we can leave some in the post office, or we can leave some here if you would. If anybody has a request, you can do that when you... Okay, we have
You
one.
I have the regular minutes. Do you want the special meeting too? Can I just email them? And they're in my computer. That's fine. Okay. Thanks. Sure. You want to have another one? Okay, if you want, then doesn't sign. Hold on 1 minute. All right, I'm ready. Are you doing fiscal report? Fiscal? Me?
We're taking 1 second to sign these and get these so we can pay. Okay, then we can go to the fiscal report while we're signing these.
Financial statement this month is $967,092.11. There's no correspondence. Everything's been given to the trustees in the mail drawer. I am going to be ordering a binder and pages for the minutes, which is $165 for a binder and 500 pages. If I found somewhere to order them from. Cases of paper, both letter and legal. You need some? Yes. Okay. And if we need office, if we need toner, cartridges, let me know numbers. And I'm getting you 2 office chairs. You want them with arms or without? With arms?
And I can add that Staples had them on sale for $39 a piece.
Well, I was gonna call Modern Office and see if they'll match the sale, because we have an account there and they'll deliver them. We don't have to come pick them up, they'll pick them up.
Can't be $39.
No, if they'll match it, we have a deal. Okay, that's my report.
Okay, any,
Yeah, I'd like to know what the fire and EMS balance are currently this month.
I sent those to you. I didn't bring any reports with me. I sent you a PDF.
I received that, but, every month, we vote on different expenditures for both the fire department.
Okay, so you
And
want,
the
you
EMS?
want the financial report sent to you?
I think it'd be a good idea if we just have those at every meeting along with our general account.
Okay,
So I would like to make a motion that we include the fire and the EMS balances at our monthly meeting.
okay.
we have a motion there. And I think that can be done. We have a fiscal officer willing to do it. We have a second on that?
Sure.
Okay, trustee Lewis? Trustee Morrison?
Yes.
Trustee, and I think that'll be good. We talk of budget, so we're going to be reviewing those trustees.
And it'll help us with our long-range planning along with the votings that we're doing at that meeting.
And I think we've become more balanced. And this will include transparency with that. And we are living within our means. All we hear about budget cuts and our fire department, our EMS, all of us are working within our means here. That'll help. Okay, thank you, Karen. We have a maintenance report.
Yes. Provide you a package. We'll go through that. First of all, I did attend the Bureau of Workmen's Comp OSHA recording workshop. It was very informative. It was more designed for payroll folks, business owners, safety officers, fiscal officers. But it was very informative. Karen, I did bring you back a little manual that they provided us. Also, one of the things I want you to take note, you can look at it. I highlighted some areas in the book that would pertain to us. There's also a OSHA form that needs to be posted yearly, and the biggest thing is because if you have 10 or more folks on a payroll, you're required to do these steps. So I'll just give you this book. If you have any questions, we can go over it. In my packet, I also provided you that I received, that I did attend, a little certificate here that they gave us. I also gave you the mileage and my parking receipts.
So we can make a resolution if we have a total on that, and we worked that.
I have the total mileage. I don't know what you were
What your
paying.
reimbursement?
Yeah,
total
whatever the
amount of money?
government, whatever we talked about, I don't know.
We don't need a motion for that because it's in our policy.
That would just go through the maintenance
Yeah.
report.
And when you okayed his going, you come.
We did it prior, didn't we, Laura?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but anyhow, you have copies of that. On the zoning door replacement, last meeting I presented you an AM door of North Jackson, a quote, and then I did contact Murdoch Door, and I provided you that proposal. Murdoch was actually a little bit more than AM door, and Murdoch was just going to replace the door and repair the bottom of the frame. And AM door was going to change the frame and the door. So, I mean, it's a no-win there.
And that's an upgrade with a panic exit, right?
Yeah, it's required. It's required now anytime you change a door. And the window, it'll look the same.
Yeah, it's kind of silly because that door is protected by another door right inside there, that if somebody was locked in the building, they couldn't get through the interior door anyway because it's always locked.
Correct. But if they were in
The zoning
in
office.
the zoning office, and there was a, yeah, it just, that's the way.
Our government wouldn't make any silly mandates. No.
Yeah.
That's why things run so smooth in Washington.
Yeah.
They are this week.
So, let me know what you decide, or what other avenues you want me to take on the door. I will.
And if you looked at, and you compared them, it looks like they're apples to apples.
Correct.
And it looks
Except for
like,
the frame.
Yeah.
and one has the frame, so one stands out there pretty well, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, because you're repairing a frame that's already rusted on the on the left side, would be the south side. That's rusted at the bottom, and you're repairing it. So, all right. So let me know what you want to do on that. I did apply fertilizer to the fire hall, town hall, and in the post office and the cemetery entrance. As you can tell, it is growing and it is working. And November 1st, the first week of November, I'll get a winterization on. Next item, the faucet handles I replaced in the fire hall kitchen. They were broken. Instead of replacing that faucet, which is over 200 bucks, a couple trips to Austintown Handyman, I was able to find replacement handles. Of course, we don't have an account there. I provided you the receipts, I made photocopies. That was my own personal money out of my pocket. So, the next item, the maintenance phone number and the non-emergency number in the phone book are mislisted, if that's a word. Just want to make you aware of that. They have the maintenance number as the non-emergency number, and the non-emergency number is the maintenance number. So, just the
This is out of the
phone book,
regular
the
phone?
one that we just received, the one that you've been receiving at home.
Could you follow through with that and ask them why they did that?
No, I just noticed it. It was this
Okay.
week,
Yeah.
so I don't know if, there's really nothing you can do with that.
They're not gonna recall.
No,
Okay.
you're stuck, you know, but maybe you can.
You mean they won't reissue the phone book if we tell them they made a mistake?
No, it is what it is. But it's something that definitely needs to be addressed so they can change it
Yeah.
for next year. The cemetery, we did have one burial. The mausoleum chairs, I did replace them with all those green chairs that were in the back, and took those ripped chairs. They're in the maintenance garage.
These ones clean up nice?
Yeah, we took them and we washed them down and dried them, and it looks a lot better than there. Even Lane made a comment when they at the funeral, they made a comment that it looked much better. Exit lights in the town hall here, I did replace that one right up there. It was actually out of code because all it did was say exit, and it also didn't go to battery backup when you didn't have power. So if you lose power here, we have some lights to see our way out. And also the other one in the other room, the battery was gone in that. And also the one at this door here, the battery was dead, so I replaced batteries, and we're all in good shape in that department. Road crack sealing in Ellsworth has been completed. It's a tough job. I also talked to you, Kurt, about the Rolling Hills at the turnaround area, about some material.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty bad there. We need to do something.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to call LaFrage today, and I'll get with
Check
them.
with them on the material I suggested. If they don't
Yes.
have that, tell me what they have in that, and we'll talk about that.
Okay. And we need to do something before the weather starts
Yeah.
turning. Because when I was up there this summer replacing street signs, I did notice instead of a garbage truck backing up,
Yeah.
he went up there, and, I mean, he's spinning around up there.
I think the school bus doesn't do that.
Yeah, I don't think it must be too, I don't know how he
I
could.
talked to one of the residents up there, and he says, it's not the school bus, it's a garbage truck.
Yeah.
Years ago, our poor fire department got blamed for that. Nobody could turn around on that end of that. Remember a couple
It's
of
tight.
times, guys?
Yeah.
It's not built to a standard that it would allow anything other than a car to go through, so.
Well, we need to do something with it, because as soon as the weather changes, it's gonna be a horrible mud mess up there. So we, put something down. We used more material than we anticipated on our roads due to the condition. We actually owe Berlin Township $1,207.50 for additional 1,750 pounds of crack sealing material.
How much was that, 1,000?
$1,207.50.
He's got it there in this report.
I think Berlin already sent you a bill on that.
I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay.
I'm sure it's coming.
Good job on that too, Matt. I know those roads were in real tough condition.
We have another, I think, 2 or 3 days to go at Berlin Center. We'll be done with the crack sealing and we can move on to some other projects. One of the big projects we've been working on is the generator and the pond pumping project. We want to provide generator power for the maintenance building, and in doing that, we want to remove the electric meter from the building. We can feed off of the electric meter on the fire station. And in turn, we'll pump pond water from the fire station, from the pond up to the fire station while the trucks are in the garage. So they don't have to go down there instead of using the garden hose. And
Yeah.
just like I've just learned, it takes them 5-6 hours to fill the trucks up with a
Plus,
garden
it'll
hose.
make it so much easier for our firemen.
Well, not only easier, but it's going to be less taxing on our water conditioning system and our well pump. That's really not designed to fill a fire truck. And then with the generator, we'll be able to use we'll have water for the fire hall for drinking and the restrooms, because the pump is actually fed out of the maintenance building.
Yeah.
So, and I have some quotes on that when we go through that. What started this, I also, one of my first calls was to Professional Engines for a transfer switch. He sent the quote over, and then investigating the transfer switch we have, I decided to call Professional Engine and go up and talk to them. We do not need to purchase one. We can use the existing transfer switch that we have, which is a savings. They quoted us 2 models from Professional Engine. One was over $3,200 and the other one was over $4,000. So we don't need to spend any of that money. So that's a win. I did meet with DNR Water out of North Jackson and Warren Pump to discuss the pump issues and what was the best method. You have a quote from DNR Water. He recommends a 1 horsepower pump, a 40 gallon per minute pump at $1,190. They are going to put a pump safety type surge protection device included in that. We'll have to wire it in. But there'll also be a disconnect. I'll have to build a pedestal down by the manhole, and that's actually a requirement.
And that's the $300.
Yeah, the $300 is for all the fittings and that safety switch and protection.
You're capable of wiring that in, or do we need to?
Well, we're gonna get to that. I have 2 quotes on that because it's a pretty big job.
Yeah, we can put that on a treated post or something.
I'm talking about that $300 switch, but I'm not talking about the big switch. I'm talking about the safety.
Oh, yeah, and that, well.
Just for the pump that we're talking
well,
about, the DNR.
That's correct. But what we're gonna do, I have 2 proposals here, one from Current Electric and one from Stanton. And I did tell them on both of them, we are gonna be providing some of our own work with them to try to save some cost here. Current Electric was $4,700. And that's material and labor. We are going to have to provide a trench and saw cut and remove the sidewalk. And once Ohio Edison cuts the building free from service, I'll remove the meter and the mast. We'll also have to build the pedestal for it'll just be out of treated lumber. It'll be 2 pieces, and I mean, it'll be nice. We'll make it where it'll last. We'll have to provide that, and plus all the trenching and, the backup work on that. Also, in the project, it will include not only the emergency system wiring, it will also include wiring the pump for the fire station, so we can pump water up to the fire station. It'll also provide a control panel a control switch in the fire station. So when they want to pump water, they can just walk over to the door, switch, turn the switch on, and the pump will run. And we're going to mount that next, between the door and where the ambulance is.
Yeah.
That was the best place to that. So that control system, that control starter will also be included in the price. I had Stanton quote the same job, and they were $6,243.
Both included sweat equity there, and we're helping, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, to give you a number on this, you know, to do this project, we're at $6,170, but removing the electric meter, that's gonna save us about $200 a month off the maintenance building. So if you do the math, in 2.5 years, you're gonna have a return on your investment.
Plus it expands our emergency capabilities to the other building. You know, we have a tenant in there, right? We have our sheriff department, and we also have our post office, which we've all have
Correct.
an invested interest in and a desire to keep here.
And that was one, we had the power failure, when we did have that power failure on a Friday, you know, she was out of business. Yeah. So, and then there was no water in the fire hall. Now, the other thing I was looking at was trying to eliminate the Armstrong cable computer hookup in the maintenance building. I had an engineer from Armstrong come out. He suggested that it may be an issue with the sheriff's department because they wanted their own dedicated line for security reasons. And he said when they put that line in, that was one of the issues. It has to be secure. I haven't pursued calling the sheriff's department IT guy and talked to him about that. But I will, just in case there is a chance that we can go off the fire stations.
Yeah, I think when we do the project, we'll try and run that larger cable anyway for future, in case things change, where they could code, but we're not done with that.
Right.
Yeah, so we can put an extra conduit or two in there.
Right, yeah, conduit, you know, if you have a couple $100 in conduit.
It's cheap.
And a pull line, just in case we want to go to the fire department and the maintenance building for something, somewhere down the road. So, what I'd like to do is, I'd like to get this project going sometime in November, if possible, because we're gonna need some help from the fire department. There's gonna be some outside work. The other guy in their wetsuit, he's gonna have to be in that manhole. The water's gonna be cold. So I think it would be a project that,
Nobody's raised their hand yet, how about?
so,
Well, and then also because of weather, to have that kind of excavation, and we're saw cutting in a driveway, we might have something, we're talking about plowing and things there.
well, and also it's gonna start getting
It
muddy.
would be better to do it sooner than later.
Yeah. So,
So is that the total number, the 6170, including the DNR pump
that would be the,
and
yes,
the 4700?
61 or 67
6170.
There you
That's
right now?
Yeah. Well, that doesn't include if we want to put extra conduit in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's going to be a couple,
yeah.
I mean, there'll be some nonsense. Well, and I didn't include the lumber for the pedestal down at the.
We can budget that out, that would be
Yeah.
on us.
I mean, you're not looking at a lot of money for, some treated lumber.
Fasteners, screws,
Yeah,
tack on.
yeah. Miscellaneous things like that. But the majority of the project, you're at 6170,
I got
if my
60.
math is right.
6190. huh?
Lord, working some numbers here.
4,700 and
1490 is.
1490.
Yeah. Should be able to do this in our head. It's 6190.
Lori, you have a number we can make up?
6190. Approximately, I mean, we've got to be able to.
But if we start the project now, if we make this a resolution for this appropriation, then we could get this started, I think. Board, you want to discuss it any further? I think we should.
Let's throw up to $6,500. We know we're going to need extra conduit, and we get some other things that may work with that.
Correct.
Board, we have a problem with that? I hear that, 6,500.
Up to.
that a motion?
Any more discussion on that?
Oh, okay. We can do this, or you're approved each purchase $200 already within your, so.
Would you want to keep it at 61.90?
Yeah.
Let's leave it there, and
Yeah.
he can do the miscellaneous stuff.
Okay.
anyway.
Well, I make a motion that we approve $6,190 for the project.
Generator pump pumping project.
Yeah, for the,
We'll give it a title. Good.
I just took Matt's time.
Have a second on that,
I'll
Laura?
second it.
Okay. Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Morrison?
yes,
Trustee Spellman, yes. Before you're done here, Matt, we've pre-approved your trip, and again, thanks for doing the workers' comp, but I think we need to add the $19.47 out of his own pocket.
for the handles. And that $19 is very inexpensive compared to a faucet that cost over
Yeah.
$200. So it was,
Well, it's probably half a day to put that maybe in.
yeah.
So I have a motion to appropriate $19.47 and add it to his reimbursement for his travel and parking.
I'll second that you just made.
So moved then. Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Morrison?
Yes.
Trustee Spellman, yes.
And that, just so you know, that quote, the current electric, the first quote that was $3,300, that he didn't include the starter switch and the conduit and the wiring for the and mounting in the fire department. That's why I called him back, and that's why there's a difference. You saw his first quote, but that's why there was a difference. Just so you know
We're
that.
comparing apples to apples there.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Stanton Electric and Current Electric, exact same work.
Okay, and our buddy Ron's real anxious here, but you have one more item here with the extension ladder we're going to need for these things.
Well, what I did, that's what I wanted to, I stopped down to ABC on Saturday, and I talked to the manager, because we're going to be doing this roof project, and I wanted to know what the temperature, what's the minimum temperature we can work on that roof ceiling
The ambient air or
material.
the surface of the roof.
We have surface of the roof, and now that the temperature's starting to catch us here and we're behind schedule, we're gonna have to try to gauge it. He said he would deliver it that day, if it looks like it's gonna be a nice day, he'll deliver it that day so we can work on that roof. But then I also asked him about a ladder, so he gave me, which was a good deal. But then he also asked if we used any calcium chloride or salt. And that's why I threw that, I inserted that. If we use any calcium chloride for melting snow.
Right.
And I don't know where you buy it, I don't know if you need any, but he gave us a quote on it too. He sent me a quote over.
I'm pretty sure
If you
when I
want.
looked last year, we had like, I don't know if we used them all. There was like 15 bags.
Oh, there's three.
There's 3? Okay.
There's three in the garage. That's it.
All right.
They're on the shelf.
We bought them through Jeff, we bought them through Ace.
Right.
We wanted it to be as friendly to the concrete and the brickwork.
Right, and that's why you want
We
to
do
use
need
calcium.
to strike up the mortar on those as it is.
Right.
And we don't want to, to hurt that anymore.
Right. But I didn't know how many you buy, or you just want to keep buying calcium someplace
Yeah,
else.
or we want to buy the calcium rather than.
Yeah, but I don't know what you were paying for it, but he gave us a price of, $11.75 each bag.
Okay.
Well, let's roll the dice and we'll have November, have our information about the salt, I think, and trustees.
Yeah.
And that is also a better price on the ladder than we approved 3
Correct.
months ago.
Very much so.
And that, we've already approved the ladder.
That's correct. But I figured when I was there, I asked, figured I'd ask.
And then that is
And then
a
ask work.
300-pound ladder
Fiberglass.
also.
Yeah, 300 pound. Same class.
Is it made in
same-
America?
It should be. So, that's it. Any questions?
No, thank you. Board, any more questions?
Did we approve the material for the resurfacing of the roof shed?
Yeah, because I gave you a quotation,
Okay.
and it was,
And I think we,
yeah, I have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
before we forget our friends in Berlin, I think we need to make a resolution for
Uh-huh.
appropriation
Good
there.
one.
You have a number written on that, Laura?
120750, right? I'll make a motion to reimburse Berlin Township in the amount of 120750 for the use of their crack ceiling.
Materials. Okay,
I second that motion.
With Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Morrison? Trustee Spellman, yes. Thank you, we won't forget that. Thank you, Matt.
Before we move off of maintenance, just kind of related, because Matt takes care of the marquee. We're too late to get it in the roundup, but we always coincide our trick or treat with Berlin's. And if you could put on the marquee trick or treat to be Thursday, 31st from 5 to 7, that way the people will know that, you know, when we're having trick or treat, and it'll coincide with Berlin also.
5 to 7.
5 to 7, Thursday the 31st.
Okay, that's
And
the trunk or treat or?
No,
that's
that's trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
Yeah.
We'll save one of the lines for that one. There'll be two different, trick or trunk or trick or treat.
Actually, trick or trunk would come first, because Karen, that will be.
Correct.
It's too late for us to get it in the roundup now because the way things kind of fell.
Okay, anything else? Okay, zoning report, Mr. Durkin forwarded his report to me. I'd like to request that he be here in the next meeting. His report, copy of the zoning office is still not working. He's has 9 phone calls returned. He attended the zoning meeting relative to the Bear Brothers expansion that they have going. Working on updating the Deal Lake PUD with the zoning commission. PUD clarifications presented by zoning commission, Deal Lake. He attended the zoning commission meeting focusing on zoning resolution updates. He's waiting for direction on how to support zoning commission and work with consultants to support efforts to update resolutions format land use plan. And we just approved that last month. With that, we did have we had a guest here who's going to speak briefly about the zoning commission just met last night. Deal Lake, you know, is one of our treasures in our township. It's a planned unit development, that's why they call it PUD. They're going through some changes and presented to the township, to the commission. And I'll turn it over to you now, Ron.
Okay. My name is Ron Nimick, and I am the treasurer of Deal Lake. And what Deal Lake consists of approximately 240 acres of land, and we have 3 lakes and roads, and we are, as already said, a PUD, which means we're zoned as a PUD, a planned unit development. And over the years, all of the lots that are contained in Deal Lake, there are 100 lots, we have 54 houses, and there are approximately 40 lots that are empty. But during that whole time, the lots have been owned by the Deal Lake Company. And each of us as owners lease the land. We are the only entity in the county that exists like that. One of the problems that we run into, and I've run into it myself several times, with trying to get a loan, trying to get refinancing. You could have done this probably 6, 7 years ago. We didn't have a problem doing it, but now if you try to refinance, you can't do it. You can't get a loan unless you have a deed. I even refinanced my house recently, and they're charging me $60 extra a month simply because I do not have a deed to the property. And like I said before, we're the only entity in Mahoney County that is like that. So what we tried to do, we started back in May, probably about 4 or 5 months ago. We started this process of trying to amend our PUD. And it's, this is a learning experience for me. I don't do this for a living. But what we have to try to work through this bureaucracy between the Planning Commission and the state law, zoning, and all of this. So what we did, we started out back in August. And we met with the zoning board. We presented a plan. And as a part of that plan, we have to modify our PUD, which was adopted in 2002. And a part of that modification is changing the boundary lines of 9 lots that are contained within the PUD, within the Deal Lake property. Or actually 3 of the lots had to be changed because we had a builder build a home, and his lines were off, and he built it right in the middle of one of the lot lines, so we had to alter that. We had another one who wanted to build modify one of the other lots to suit a house that he is in the process of building. We had 2 lots that were landlocked. We had green space in front of a road, and in order for these people to have access, they have to use somebody else's driveway and go across their property. So we extended those lots up, it's just a small extension, up to the road. Another one, the house was built a long time ago, and it was built on the property lines. The west side, west corner of the house extended beyond the property line onto common ground, and the front of the house was also extended out beyond the limitations of the boundary line into the common ground. So we've made those changes, we've submitted them. We submitted them, like I said, back in August to the zoning board. The zoning board then submitted it to the Mahoning County Planning Commission back on, I think it was September 24th. And I appeared there and they approved it. They approved the change there to say, hey, what we are doing is appropriate. Last night, there was a hearing at the zoning board, and we had absolutely no objections from anybody, from the public or from the board, and it passed unanimously. So what I'm asking today is that you consider the approval of this, and so that we're not delayed any further in what we're doing. I know our next step then is to go back to the Planning Commission, and then, after your approval, go back to the Planning Commission, then they come back to you for something else. But I mean, I just take it one step at a time. So we're trying, and it's like I say, it's a learning experience, and we think that we'll be better off because of it. You know, we run into, right now, we have anywhere between 3 and 5 houses for sale, because some people are trying to sell them and they don't try to sell them and stuff like that. So we have one that's been sitting for probably 3 years. And the owner says he can't sell it because he doesn't have a deed. You need a deed. And that's what we're trying to do. And we're trying to protect ourselves and hopefully increase the population of the township too. So we're asking you tonight to approve that, so without delay.
Let me add that this isn't unique. There's other PUDs in the county that have already went the way you guys are going. You know, the finance with the banks is changing. I know the Shores on Springfield Road, they've already went through all this, and now they're individual lots where they were a PUD. And you will still carry your association, you'll maintain all your roads and...
Exactly. It'll stay as a PUD, we're just amending it.
Yeah.
Because we thought originally, well, we could just say here, you know, zoning, we want to amend it and approve it this way. And the Planning Commission says, no, you got to go through all these steps.
Yeah,
so that's what we're trying to follow.
Our step is we, as trustees, have to vote on it. Before we can vote on it, we have to have a hearing,
Yes, I
and we have to have a 10-day notice. So we'll have to have a special meeting and put a notice in the paper. We have to have 10-day notice, and then we'll have a
Is it
special...
10? Is it 10 or 7?
10.
10-day notice.
Yeah, so we have to set up for a special meeting. We'd like to accommodate you.
I was
I have no
concerned
problem with the
that it
11th
might
day.
be delayed until November. You know, that this presentation tonight would be delayed until November, and I wanted to say, hey, wait a minute, that's another month that we have to go through.
Can we do it in that 10 days, or if we want to set up a meeting that quick?
Yeah, what dates? We can't do it the coming week because we need the 10 days. Let's do it the Monday or Tuesday of the following week.
Laura, do you have a calendar? Somebody have a calendar?
No.
I think
Has to be
No, they have to have
a hearing, yes.
Yeah, we have to have a public hearing.
And we want to serve public notice. Well, the big thing that Kurt brought forward here is that they're still maintaining their roads, they're still doing those things, was a big thing. I've had 2 people, adjoining property owners, call me in favor of what you're doing. The simple fee lots, if we understand that, I think our fire department want to be part of whatever you do there. To all these changes you put on, they look very minor, minute, but you know,
You have a little calendar?
we like to always kind of know what's for safety reasons. if we can get with them once in a while.
Does anybody have a little calendar in their wallet we could get some dates off of?
10 days would be the 19th. What's that fall on though?
That's a
Doesn't that fall on
weekend.
this- I think a weekend because.
What about the Monday or
today-
Tuesday after the weekend?
21st is on a Monday. 22nd is Tuesday.
Want to try for the 22nd?
I'm in favor of something that,
Let's shoot for the 22nd, and then we'll converge with email and make sure it works and give Karen the okay to do the legal notice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ron, thank you for explaining that to the public. We generally, this isn't described this in depth with the public, but it's good that, a good exercise for that. When we go to the zoning commission meetings, you'll see these kind of things happening, so. Good thing for our township. Fire department report here. Chief,
go first? You want me to go first?
It's up to you, you have to go to work, so you want to do your presentation first?
people don't know, this guy's Tom DePorcher. He's our paramedic in our township. He's been around and
Top responder last year.
Does an excellent job.
Tom's also one of our fire inspectors. He's going to talk to us about the fire inspections, so just a presentation, so.
Get everybody a seat on the wall. We need to kill lights. Good. Again, my name is Tommy Porser. I'm a fire inspector with the township, also level 2 firefighter, paramedic. With the changes with the township, new building construction, the state fire marshal's office is recommending that we're starting to do fire inspections in all the businesses. Residential does not apply whatsoever. All we can do is you as a homeowner, call us, says, hey, can you come out and make sure everything is compliant, everything is safe. We can come out, we can make recommendations, we cannot make any code enforcement per Ohio Fire Code. Why do we do fire inspections? Life safety. Check electrical, aisle widths, fire exits, lighting. We have 3 inspectors, myself, Chief Sternberg, and Tim Ramsey. What do we look for? Fire exit obstructions, fire extinguisher maintenance and placement, your aisle widths, like in your businesses like Ace Hardware, Country Pantry, or Sunoco, your shelving heights, heating appliances. It's one of the, like, pretty much space heaters are a no-go if they are inside, say like the post office, for example. They can't have one at all because it's so confined, it's near combustible. If they leave that plugged in, they leave, it has potential of causing fires. Rubbish, outdoors, outside of the business, trip hazards, electrical hazards, extension cords. Extension cords are okay to a point. You can't have it as a permanent fixture inside of a business because of potential of fire. Hazardous material storage, your material safety data sheets, and there's a big list of what we look for and what we're trying to prevent hazards from. What happens when we get there? Walk in, we introduce ourselves, we provide identification. 1 or 2 firefighters, inspectors will accompany the actual inspector doing the inspection. 1 representative from the business needs to accompany the inspector during the entire inspection to ensure continuity. All questions are asked and answered. Once we complete the inspection, we'll sit down, we'll go over everything that we found and how you need to fix it. What happens after the inspection? The inspector will evaluate all possible violations found during the inspection. All possible violations are compared with the Ohio Fire Code. A completion of inspection letter will be completed and signed by the inspector and the fire chief. A copy of the letter inspection report will be provided to the business owner for review and signature. The business will have between 1 and 30 days to remedy violations if any are found. What is the Ohio Fire Code? The Ohio Fire Code is also the Ohio Administrative Code. It is perfectly legal. It's been reviewed through and through. I don't know how many times they have to go through it. If anybody's interested, to pull up online, it's Ohio Administrative Code 1301 7-7. They're the same thing, just different names. We find a violation, what's going to happen? A copy of the report will be provided to you, and you'll have between 1 and 30 days to remedy such violations. What happens after the deadline? We'll contact you, reschedule reinspection. A date and time will come out. We'll go through the list of the violations that we found, and we'll go from there. It's highly recommended that you have a representative with you, and it would be the same person that went through the first time, just to ensure continuity and everything is covered. What if few or none of the remedies are completed? An extension will be granted. It'll be half the time though, between 1 and 15 days. And a reinspection will need to be scheduled. What if the remedies are still not corrected during the second reinspection? Unfortunately, it will have to be forwarded to the State Fire Marshal's office. If we come out to do the inspection, there's no cost whatsoever. Per the Ohio Fire Code, if the State Fire Marshal inspector comes out, they will give you a fee. I believe it's $100 to come out, and it goes up in $50 increments each time their inspector comes out. That means Mr. Tillman, for example, if something happens with his business, the inspector comes out from the state, that's money out of his pocket, that's money out of his business that he has to dish out. If we come out to do the inspection, there's no cost. You know, we're doing it on our time, we're doing it to ensure the safety of our residents, of us, and his patrons. We're willing to work with you. If anything would come up as anything like violation-wise, we'll work with you and get everything fixed. If you need help getting it fixed, we'll come out and help you. Personally, I have no problem coming out to help you. Will citations be issued? Only if the Ohio Fire Code requires it. What about fines? Last resort. That's only if violations are still not corrected after multiple attempts to get them fixed.
Maybe through the Ohio Fire.
Per the Ohio Fire Code. What applies for inspections? Businesses, commercial, residential, meaning apartment buildings, 3 or more apartments. Single-family dwellings do not apply. So I can't go out to my dad's house and say, hey, I'm going to do a fire inspection and apply the fire code. The only thing we can do with those is give recommendations. If a homeowner wants a fire inspection done, will it require a reinspection? No. Again, we'll just come out and make recommendations for you, and we'll help you fix whatever you need to get fixed. Why do we do inspections again? Life safety, protection of the business owners, firefighters, and the patrons of said business. One of the hot topics in the state of Ohio is open burning. What applies, what doesn't apply. Campfires don't require a permit. Bonfires do, because of the size. There are certain parameters that you have to follow when having a campfire or a bonfire. I do have a copy of the Ohio Administrative Code. If anybody wants to look at it, I'll leave it up here at the front. If you do have a campfire or bonfire, what all do you need to have? Mode of extinguishment, somebody has to be with that fire at all times. You have to have a certain space from an occupied structure and notification to the fire department and or the inspectors. So if you would want to have a campfire at your house, call the 7-digit line, which goes to our dispatch center. Let them know your name, your address, and what you're burning. Just so somebody driving down the road doesn't say, hey, you know, I see a fire. You get all the bells and whistles, you get the trucks coming to your house at 10 o'clock at night because you and your family want to have a bonfire. How do you contact the fire department for an inspection? Contact the station, leave a message, we'll return your call. Also, we'll be sending out notices within a certain time frame of your business that we will come out and do your inspection. And as Mr. Stroni was saying, the number in the phone book for the non-emergency number, it's kind of switched.
Of course, you could have Matt Stroni come out and check your roof.
Does anybody have any questions?
You go to cottage businesses, do you go to home baby care businesses, and all those types of businesses?
Daycare, anyone who has, we do inspections on people that have foster children. We do people, there's a couple, homes that take care of, some elderly residents, things like that we do annual inspections on. Yes.
A lot of the foster care agencies, including the state, require that they have a fire
I
inspection.
mean, you only mentioned 3 businesses, but there's a lot more in Ellsworth.
The last time I went through the list, there was about 50.
Okay, so there is 50 that you're applying, okay.
Public, we don't have to wait for the good order. I think we can ask questions to Tommy or the fire chief about this, and then board, we can have our comments.
Yeah.
Anybody from the public want to make any comments about that?
I will say what this is not. I believe Chief will agree with me. We're not out to get anybody. This is only to keep us safe as the fire department. If there's ever a fire in that business, we know it's been inspected, it's safe, there's no immediate hazards. It keeps you safe as a business owner. The insurance companies love it when they find out you had an inspection done. They get a copy of it. They may or may not give you a discount on your premiums. And also keeps your patrons safe. Then if we start doing the inspection program, the only thing you as the trustees have to do is adopt the Ohio Fire Code, Ohio Administrative Code, and list myself, Chief Sternberg, and Tim Ramsey as fire inspectors.
Okay, board? Any questions?
I guess I was under the impression that you were, when you said you did 50 businesses, that there was inspection going on now.
We're not allowed to right now because we don't have.
I remember us talking about
We
this
talked about
before.
this before, yes.
But when he said that, I thought, oh, well, we do. Okay.
Because right now, we don't have as the trustees are the governing bodies that has to adopt the Ohio Fire Code.
Well, if it's the Ohio Fire Code,
You
I'm
have
just
to-
wondering why we, I mean.
You have to be the governing bodies to give us the permission, even though we operate under it.
Yeah.
You as the governing body have to give us the permission, because we're a township and we're township employees, you have to give us the permission to use those as our guidelines to operate under, to say, okay, you can inspect, so.
But that's not already state mandated, revised code, people would just say, okay, this, you know what I mean, we're usually just.
It's just pretty much just a paper trail. It's just saying that you as a governing body has acknowledged and adopted the Ohio Fire Code and listed such inspectors on the books.
It's the same when we bill for hazmat, even though we bill for hazmat, we turn it back in the township, but we bill for the hazmat calls. You as the governing body have to okay the Ohio Revised Code to allow us to do that.
That's why the key word in this whole thing was it's recommended.
Correct.
Okay, and when you gave us, we'd have to give the power to this, bring this under the power of us under Ohio Revised Code to allow you to do this. And my first thoughts was, public meetings and what I see is no comments were made tonight. I'm not so sure about that, but I have questions.
I have a question. And I don't want to, I mean, to put anybody on the spot, so if you don't want to give a response, by all means, just say no comment, But Bob's here tonight, I was going to ask Bob, how do you feel about this as a business owner? What would your position be? And you
About
don't
the
have to
inspections,
respond.
well, they have inspected before, you have done in the past, chief, so it doesn't seem to be hurtful. I didn't realize there was 50 businesses. It would be kind of interesting to see how it would affect all of them.
This is where I'm getting, we have 2 closed businesses, and where's the power to enter those, the power, then we're trespassing, then we can get the questions of those type things. And then when we're entering in them to make, what liability we have if we get hurt doing an inspection. Then I said, it's certainly, you want to create, again, this word win-win. When we go in, I think we need to do this thing with a public relations part of it. Well, with this number thing that we have in the phone book, we need to spend some money here. We need to appropriate some money here. Then we walk into a place, we're giving them magnets with correct phone numbers. We're giving them something big that goes on there and says, gladly inspected by the fire department of Ellsworth Township. And we have some things that we can use in those type things. And some pass outs that we do on the businesses. But before we take that quantum leap, let's say we was to go into a craft or hobby store that we have, and there was recommendations, and they sound rigid at times. It is what it is, right?
Yes.
So can we put the business out of business, them staying open to do business?
May I make a suggestion then?
Yeah.
Before, I would suggest that and I'm not saying take action on this tonight.
Right.
My suggestion would be contact Greenford, Berlin Center, and Canfield. They all inspect. They all inspect their businesses. Contact those 3 agencies and talk to them.
Yeah, and can we have our own questions though? Can we,
Well, I would ask a question.
Canfield has their own rules.
That's true.
Canfield adopted their own fire policy.
Right.
And the reason you guys should, if you were to adopt the Ohio Revised Code version of for the fire inspections, it's already set by the state. You don't have to get a lawyer involved. This is the general what it is. Canfield, their fire inspection book is probably 4 inches thick of what you can do, can't do, and it goes all the way down to heating oil tanks in the basement of a residential house.
Then contact Greenford and Berlin. Then,
You know,
you know what I'm saying?
it's
Just contact, you know what I'm saying? That would be another, instead of reinventing the wheel.
and I'll definitely do that. Well, I think Laura may have another question.
What size you can put in.
But I had a question too. How would we slowly do this so we don't put a business kind of out of business?
You know what?
We're not here to put a business out of business. That's a
No.
form.
I would say,
So can't
just,
dictate to what you use
if
oil
we
or not use
went
oil.
in and,
They don't
like for example, say, okay, we go in and say, look at fire extinguishers, business signs, or exit signs, means of egress, make sure there's no, how many, are exit doors blocked, are they clearly marked, things like safety, just the general safety things, and as far as, as far as like, those things, those, and according to the Ohio Revised Code, and just go and say, okay, that exit sign needs a light bulb, or needs batteries, or something, and, we'll give you 30 days to fix it. Come back 30 days later, and, there's batteries in it. Oh, good, we're done.
I'm seeing that, but what I heard was numbers like 30 days, and then I heard another 15 days.
Right.
I'm saying, can that be 60 days? Can that be 80 days? What's it like that cost amount right now with the battery thing?
That was about $137.
Go ahead.
Couple things, Chief. I'm picturing this, that and it was said that there's no enforcement power that you have
On residential.
on residential.
Residential, correct. And we don't want,
Okay, going into a business, is it voluntarily that they let you in? Or they have to grant you permission to come in?
For us, well, for us, basically, for us, it would be voluntary. They would, but the state fire marshal is not.
That's
You know
what
what I
I'm
mean?
looking at. So a business doesn't necessarily have to let you in the door.
Right.
Okay, so that's established.
The first,
And being, I guess, the most important part is as you did state, you're there to help the business owner.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, and that's all you're there for.
Right. We're not,
So, when you leave that business, nobody knows what transpired there but you and the owner.
correct.
That's it, it's done. Nobody else knows anything and never will know anything.
Absolutely.
Right, so I don't see a problem with it. I think it's a good thing.
the first 3 to 4 chapters of the Ohio Fire Code spells out what we can and can't do.
So-
As Joe said, it's
I know it is a touchy situation. The thing is that, and the thing of it is that we want to make sure that, like, with Teddy Smith, Teddy Smith's business in Berlin, Berlin went in and said, look, you need to do this, 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 and this to start your business. And he had to follow those rules to allow people to come into his business to make it safe. You know what I'm saying? And so he wasn't allowed to open his business until those things were done. And so when the chief of Berlin went in, said, that this is what you had to do to, he obviously had followed the rules, and it is what it is. So, I guess what our thing is that, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. All we're trying to do is just basically, follow the Ohio, the Ohio Fire Code, and basically, like I said, keep everything, just make sure that if in the event, God forbid, something happens that nothing comes back to us and say, where was the fire department when this happened? Why wasn't the fire department here before? Because then we do have a problem.
Another question, Ms. Tripp?
Yeah.
I'm Miss.
Okay. Go ahead.
If I understood Mr. Toman correctly, I thought I heard you say that they've already been in to investigate.
In past years.
Past
years.
Well, what's the difference in that investigation or inspection and the one you're proposing now?
Well, I think when you opened the store,
It was routine, I remember, it wasn't that long ago, we had a routine, who was it that did it? Yeah, but,
Adam Noble,
Noble.
yeah, he did.
That's,
Fire extinguishers
5-6
need
years
filled.
ago.
when I first got along.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. But,
voluntary.
Yeah, it's basically a courtesy inspection.
yeah,
You know, if we
well,
found anything
You have to have
wrong.
an inspection before you get your permit occupancy.
no, that was before, it had nothing to do with getting occupancy. Just a regular basis, but from what you're saying now, like, Laura's dad, is that a business, the farm and other farms and little farm markets?
I believe agriculture does not apply to that.
Agriculture
I mean,
doesn't apply.
Like the lady
White House
selling
Fruit Farms.
pumpkins out of their house or
No,
something?
like White House Fruit Farms would apply,
Oh.
because it's
has-
not a farm anymore. It's,
Well, that's why I'd like to see that.
Mardick's Dairy Farm isn't a farm anymore, it's a commercial operation.
Right.
But Andy Baldus is a farm.
Well, I thought maybe you were throwing them all in, because I'd like to see the 50 list. That seems like a lot, to me.
Well, you know, how many hairdressers?
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's,
But maybe there's more than we think there is. I don't know.
Well, is the new inspection that they're proposing more involved than what they've done in the past? Is that the difference, more detailed? Is that what the difference is?
It's the same.
I think it's the same.
It's the same inspection, but here's the thing that's, and I was showing the trustees that this ISO thing is gonna change everything. I'm serious, because what's gonna happen is there's gonna be new mandates according to ISO, that after we submit this book, that there's gonna be inspections that's gonna be required to keep our ISO rating down to, and we have to have so many inspections a year that we have, that everything's gonna have to be, and it's gonna have to be electronically generated, and so that, because it's all insurance generated. So it's gonna, it's coming to that point in the future that the insurance companies are gonna be requiring the fire departments all fire departments to conduct inspections.
So you expect it to be mandated in the
Yes,
future?
it's gonna be mandated. It's coming to that.
Well, that helps me understand a little bit more about it. I'm just wondering, and this is just an idea thrown out there, do we, and maybe we need to talk to Greenford and Berlin Campbell, but is there an option of on a, like, on a, I don't even know,
You want
in
to
terms
adopt
of,
it on a trial basis?
no, not a trial basis, but on the terms of sort of what we have now. We send a letter to those businesses, whatever that you need to inspect, and we say, okay, we're asking you for an optional inspection that you could actually go with where we are now, or, do with the, we don't do inspections now, or if you wanted to, reduce your insurance, we highly recommend it because we're trying to keep our ISO rating down, blah, blah, blah. We want to make it safe for our fire department guys, for all the people that, instead of, I don't know how we wade into this on a voluntary basis, I guess is the word. Maybe where I don't want to approach something where,
Well, maybe what we can do is, like.
it just seems as though we're invading this
No, maybe
personal
what we can
property
do,
or
here's,
something.
I guess what we can do is, if we want to start this, okay? Is if we got the okay, if the business volunteers, if they want to call us up to have an inspection, we'll do it.
Right.
If they call us up and say, would you come and do an inspection on my business, then we'll gladly do it.
And I don't mind moving this direction, something that's gonna be mandated in the future. But if we would said 50 business, I'd want to talk 30. I want to talk to Bern, I'll do my due diligence,
Sure.
I'll talk to those other places. I want to talk to 30 business people that are in this township. Because there are hairdressers, there are people that prepare taxes, and they're in a broader zoning book, that allows certain businesses. Mrs. B.
Talking about this, I do believe that what Bob said is coming about with the fire insurance, because I got a letter and they come every 5 years to my house. And I got a letter, it's 5 years now, and they want to come and see what we've done and what, in fact, a couple years ago, they had, if you had a lot of mold on your roof, they were canceling your insurance.
Yeah.
So there is things that are coming about, and everything is so costly that I do feel that what Bob said is coming about, that, if things need updated in your home, you'd be smart to have them done, or if something needs to be done. A lot of people haven't had their electricity updated and everything, and
The government comes up with a lot of ideas, but you gotta remember where government comes up with these ideas, who pays for them? We do.
I know. And my biggest fear, I guess I don't know exactly, exit lamps, that kind of thing, but what about, is there ever a requirement to update a sprinkler system or something that was, that was building code back then when they built, they got it in, but I don't know who all comes
would be
around.
grandfathered and things like, like that, so.
But those would be like huge expenses that we may not foresee at this
Absolutely.
point. Bob, you're a great fire chief, you work well with people, you don't come in, with bullhorns and plow people, but the next guy, I don't know, 10 years down the road, we want to set it up so that people have a little bit of check and balance too.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
And the other thing that came up too, if you walked in and you've seen mold, you've seen asbestos, you've seen lead, you've seen moonshiners, I'm watching that program now, but you don't step over those boundaries and get involved in all that. I think, we need to walk a little gingerly. The move in this direction is probably where to go, but how to do it, I wouldn't do without a public relation thing with our businesses on the way in.
Right, we would have to.
I agree,
Do you have the list of, is there some sort of
I'm in the
target?
process of updating the list.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because we
We'll
have
need to be
we have an
within
older
that.
list at the station from when, from,
Right.
you know.
And then specifically
Years ago.
when ISO or how they're going to be required, so we can kind of say, hey, well,
I-
we're trying to do this for all the residents, we kind of need you to comply or help us out here, can you?
I had heard, when I talked to Chief Hutchison from Canfield, he said that when he submitted his ISO requirements, that's why when I've been talking to the ISO guys, I submitted our stuff, we had some other things that we needed to do, but, he said that they're gonna change all that, where you have to, have your inspections, and you have to, and, when he was in contact with the ISO office, he said that that's coming, is what he told me.
Okay, in our current program, the way ISO is evaluating us,
Rick, well, I'm gonna submit this
Yeah.
without inspections,
yeah,
correct?
but would they recognize inspections as an
Well,
asset with this?
With the current stuff that we're submitting under the old program. The new program, within 5 years.
Okay, but it's not in effect?
It's not in effect.
Okay, the current program, do
No.
they okay.
No. So
They don't
the
recognize
next
the-
round,
yeah.
it will be
Then it'll be
5 years from now.
fought left and right. And
It'll be-
They require that.
because I know with housing, I was involved with the home builders, and for a while there, they were trying to get sprinkler systems in all new single-family residents. And,
Right.
it added so much to the cost, and then, a lot of those are such a low temperature, they go off and it
I know.
ruins so luckily they didn't put them in, but they put a lot of other things in there. Some are good and some are just costly.
Right.
And lastly, what qualifies the people that are doing the inspections? What makes them, Inspector
It's,
Gadget or
State
Inspector Chris
curriculum includes
Goes
between 40 and 80 hours
Okay.
class.
Yeah.
State tested.
Hours of team.
But currently, they can call you and ask for an inspection.
Correct.
Maybe we can put that in our roundup and start there. I'm really bored, I think, for us to spend money and get the public and get somebody, especially with this air in the phone book, we need to get some things out there that says how to get the emergency phone numbers, how to get the people. We need to correct that little thing. And I think it's a good PR thing with the business especially.
With the board's permission, we can send out an informational packet or brochure on
Good idea,
fire
Tommy.
inspections to the businesses.
Can we see it first, though?
Yes.
Yeah, and then-
Definitely want to review it first, and then we'll be on the same page, and then we'll.
Approve
pull that-
postage and
pull
things like
down.
that, yeah. Good idea.
Well, one thing, too, to add, is if you deal with us, you get 45 days at the max. You deal with the state, it's now. They will shut your business down, chain the front doors.
So when does the state come in currently? Does the state just
If you
drop
call
by?
and file a complaint, they can.
Any resident that says, hey, I don't like what they're doing,
Oh,
the
they
state
can
fire
file
marshal
the
comes in.
If somebody asks you for an inspection, you give them the 30 days, and then you give them the 15 days, they do not or cannot comply, are you going to call the state?
We have to by law.
Okay, that answers the question.
That's after so many attempts are trying to
Yeah.
Yeah.
help them
But
get.
that also notifies the insurance companies too.
That's the state. We
Yeah.
don't
We don't,
notify the
yeah.
insurance.
No, but the state can't, or
The-
should, will.
If the state comes out and says, this is what's happened, here's our paperwork, then the insurance companies can do whatever they want. That's out of our hands.
Yeah.
Then if a resident wants to install, say like a wood stove inside the residence, they install it, we can come out, we can look at it, type up a letter, and give it to them, and they can forward it to their insurance company. Because we had one recently, they had one like that, and said, hey, can you guys come out here quick, because my insurance company's gonna cancel my policy for my homeowners. Because they got wind of me installing this, somebody complained, now they're gonna cancel my policy if somebody doesn't come out here to make sure it's up to manufacturer's specifications.
Now, that's a pretty tight thing. In new homes, masonry fireplaces are almost non-existent now because they don't meet any of the codes. Everybody's putting the zero clearance units in,
Right.
the manufactured units, rather than the masonry with the flues.
Something some of you know, I work in a chemical process, but I'm gonna tell you this. We're, almost 25% of our budget is just addressing, environmental and safety things that are piled on top of piled on top of piled. This isn't, that's what I'm not saying. I never want our public health at risk, you know. That's why I go down to those meetings about the old dumps and things. I get all that. But, you know, the hardest dollar to keep in your pocket is the one you get to keep, you know? You know? And that goes for all of us in here. Well, we want to wrap this up. Lee, you had the last thing, you get the last word.
Okay. Well, Bob talked about new businesses, Ted Smith's or somebody. It's easy to address when you're going into a new business. I did it in Canfield 12 years ago. Fire inspector came in, checked things out. I needed a sign on a door that said exit. I needed fire extinguishers, and I need clearance to the electric box. That was about it. And I got the permit. But I guess on an ongoing business that has many situations in it today, it's totally different as far as what you're going to find. And my last question is a rental property a business?
Residential?
If it's
Residential, no.
So you have 3 or more units in your slide presentation, right?
Yeah. Now, you can get a courtesy inspection, but it's not.
If
Because there's
If
probably
it's a
more of those
property
that
that has
have
more than-
fire hazards in them than anything. So, okay.
If it's a rental property and it has 3 or more families in it, then it falls into commercial residential. Then there, we would have to go in and do the inspection. If it's, say, like a duplex, that's, falls under single family.
Okay. We can start wrapping this up. I'm glad for the public's input on this. Board, we're walking gingerly. We're asking our fire department to do it in a certain mannerism. I think we need to prepare them a little better before we do that. But I think it's something that we need to move toward. Let's find the best way to do this that fits our community. Maybe we can offer up these voluntary things. We can use the roundup in a very first way and see how this goes. Maybe we talked to a couple of the business guys, ask them for their input. And you said we could table this for a month or so,
Sure.
but it's going to be coming, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think,
And we could
Next step.
probably November, December have a
If you have,
QA session with businesses at the fire station.
yeah, maybe we could do that. Have just like a little open house, a business open house. That'd be good. So.
Well, thank you for all that. If we can do the EMS report?
Yes, I get the fire report too. We had 2 good intent calls, 9 emergency medicals, 1 motor vehicle crash, 5 transports. We had 1 civilian death, non-fire related. We had between cleaning, maintenance, runs, fire prevention, drills, we had 163 firefighter hours. On the items of discussion, I only have 2 things. I would like to add an EMT from Lanes. His name is Matt Emery. I put an application up there for Mike Emery. He's already a trained EMT. He's also on
It's in our
their,
packet here, right?
on their, yes,
Right here.
and their task force as well. He did complete an application. He has attended our association meeting. He has attended a couple drills. And also too, I do not have an application for this recruit, but I spoke to her last night. Her name is Carol Sin. She's an EMT intermediate. She wants to join the department. Spoke to her last night in length. She's a resident of Ellsworth Township. She'd like to work on the ambulance. She'd like to come up. She wants to come up Monday evening and fill out an application. She'd like to complete an application Monday night. She's already trained as an intermediate. She's retired and she's home during the week. she really wants to work on the ambulance. She really wants to help us out. Like I said, I've known the Sin family for quite some time, and anyone
Can
who
we
knows
approve her before she gets away
I
tonight?
would like to approve her. I would like to approve her with knowing that, knowing Mrs. Sin, before she before she completes her application, so I didn't have to wait another month.
And we take what you do, Chief, and Bob was a great judge of character, and he brings those guys, brings us forward, people that we retained for a long time and stay with our department. Carol Sin is, she had how much level of training?
Absolutely, and she's very, very nice, like I said, very nice person.
Yeah.
I'd also like permission to just investigate, looking at purchasing a computer for my office, getting prices. That one's been there since 2004, and it's really given me fits. I'm having a hard time getting emails, sending emails. It's really,
It's a laptop, right?
It's a laptop, yeah.
You just want to get another laptop then?
Yeah.
I don't know, as an option, check the Jake with down at the county IT. just-
Okay, sure. I need to do something.
Usually those are done, by the time the county's done with them, unless he's
No,
doing a
no,
purchase.
new ones, purchase. See
Yeah,
what-
yeah, unless he's
something.
doing a purchase
because,
countywide or something.
You know,
Yeah,
they did okay for us with the zoning office, I think.
Yeah. So
If I, like I
Just
said,
look into
I need to do something,
Yeah.
because like I said,
You
this
have our
one started,
permission.
it's on its last legs.
Jay Williams, or what is his name?
Yeah, his name is
Jay Williams.
This is Jay Williams.
Jake?
Jay Williams was the.
Jay Williams.
Jake, I think it is.
Yeah, it's Jay.
All
Yeah,
right.
Jay's
Jay
in
Williams,
Columbus.
Yeah, Jake Williams.
I
And
think it's
Brian,
Jake.
I talked to Brian O'Neill. I have this, he's unable to attend tonight, but I do have his EMS report. We have 2 AEDs that we carry in the engines that the pads are ready to expire. They're out of date. They're becoming out of date. And he needs to replace the AED pads. They're $50 per set. We need 2 of them. We need glasses here. There's Brian said, and Karen, you may have this, a pen care bill for $311.16 for supplies. Okay.
Yes, it's something else.
Okay, then pen care may not have sent it yet. Okay. The squad, Brian would like to make an appointment to get an oil change for the squad. The heart monitor, one of the batteries is going bad, and the other one was purchased at the same time. So they're a few years old, so he needs to replace the batteries in our AED monitor. They're $300 a piece. We need one and a spare, so it's $600 for two batteries. With the computer, Brian would like to get he was asking for 3 terabyte for a hard drive for his computer to back up the data. It's a $120 purchase for the computer, just to back up the data for the billing. The other thing too, with the addition of the new EMTs with Carol and Mike, we're going to have to look at getting some portable radios so we can communicate with these folks. So they have some way to communicate with us.
Like at a football game, somebody out on the field, somebody
Correct.
back at the squad.
So we're gonna have to, I need to get some pricing together to get a few more portable radios. So I don't have those prices yet, but just future, I'm gonna have to look at.
Will cell phones work in that situation?
No, because they can't get through dispatch. If let's say there's an accident at West Reserve and 45 and Carol responds direct, then she can't communicate with dispatch or us. So, you know what I mean? So if she responds to a traffic accident and she needs to communicate, and she can't make it to the station, for example, then she has no way to communicate with us. So I'll have to get some prices on some radios. So, that's all I have.
I have a question for the fire chief, if I can already.
Go ahead, yeah.
They're going to start stringing Ohio Edison or First Energy, whatever you want to call them, power lines across the back of all the properties. that are behind me on Galt Road. They're gonna go across Palmyra and all the way through the township. If one of those construction people get injured back there, do you have a four-wheel vehicle or something that you can reach them with?
The only thing, right now, we just have just a four-wheel drive Chevy
They'll
truck.
never get down through the woods.
That's one thing Bob has brought up before.
And,
It's about that
well,
horse park back there with the people riding horses
Exactly,
and
we've had
stuff.
several calls back behind the horse park, several calls, I mean, hunters, I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
right, you have that issue.
And
Need a four-wheel with a stretcher like on the back.
I've spoke to the trustees, and our plan is, and we've talked about a mutual plan, once the tanker is paid off at the end of this year, beginning of next year, we're looking at a side-by-side with a stretcher.
What's a side-by-side?
Like an off-road vehicle.
Okay.
That we can, that has pumping capability for grass fires and has, we can carry Stokes basket to carry, patients out of those remote areas as well.
But nothing, it starts in January, they're gonna start hanging those lines.
So we have nothing at this time right now.
We take a look at the fire budget.
Yeah, or the EMS, they
Because
can
we've
come out of the EMS
absorbed a
budget.
lot of
and-
utilities from that building and his salary and the whole 9 yards. There's a lot of
Yep.
stuff that would come out of it. So, maybe, do you know what cost we're looking at? I mean, have
I have
you
to
looked
check.
seriously?
Well,
25,000? 25,000?
Probably about 20,
Be a neat thing to go.
I looked at the Kubotas at the fair.
yeah. So they already, come pump water and the brackets for the Stokes basket for patient transport. So already,
Be neat to look down at Columbus, both the EMS and at the fire tables, see if there's any grant money or something, go cooking for that. Because a lot of times,
Well, the way our township's set up, that's almost, seems to me, probably haven't had a reason right so far, but it's one of those things that.
we tried to get one a few years ago through a grant, and we weren't eligible. We weren't, our topography wasn't such, and our call volume, and unfortunately, one or two calls are important to us, but unfortunately when we're Wyoming, Montana, those areas are, they get them more frequently, and they're,
I'm buying what Jim said a little bit though with Meander, with the
Sure.
horse park.
Yeah, you got that.
With this big project that we
Right.
have.
We had a lady.
If you look at Western, on Duck Creek Road, you see how big that project's
Sure.
gonna be.
We had
and then, is there county backup we can go to if we have something like that happening?
through the Mahoning County Sheriff, they have some off-road vehicles, they have.
Will they respond if we
They
need
will
them?
respond if we need them.
Time is usually of the essence. We'll have to look at that in the next 2 months. And certainly we'll get on Columbus with a suggestion there. Chief, so if you can get some information,
Absolutely,
and we'll all look at that.
sure.
Great idea. All right, then we had some monies that we had to appropriate for our chief requesting.
And I wondered, I don't know if you know, Bob, but how is the air card coming and that onboard scanner? I meant to say something the other night when I
Brian,
bumped into you, but
when I spoke with Brian, Brian's got the computer all set up and it's ready to go. And like I said, I think he just wanted to put an additional memory in there so it had backup in case something happened.
okay. So they can actually scan on board now?
I believe so.
Okay.
Okay.
Get
And-
this, because we had, yeah,
Are the signature sheets
that's what.
current?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good deal. Okay, so did anybody,
We had $600 in batteries.
yeah, heart monitor, but we had 120 on the hard drive, squad oil change,
Here's Brian's notes.
pen care bill, was
And
$311.
the 2 pads for,
2 pads are
$100.
$100.
Yeah, $100.
and then roughly what are we looking at for the oil change? Does that have to be through a certified?
Has to be, we have to take
Westgate
it,
again?
Westgate, yeah. Because
Send Matt-
we're the ones that can work on the
Send
ambulance.
Matt down with him, he drives a hard bargain down there. Laura's gonna get us a total here.
All right, so just make sure I caught it all, Bob. 120 for the computer backup hard drive,
Correct,
600 for the heart monitor,
correct,
311 pen care bill.
correct.
We'll approve that
When it
tonight.
comes in, yeah.
And $100 for the pads per
Correct.
set.
Probably $60 for the oil change.
No, I don't
We're
think
gonna-
so.
How much for the oil change?
That'd be cheap.
Ooh, I don't know.
Let's put in $100 for it.
$100.
Take 6 quart change.
All right, that's $12.31, $12.50.
But the 2 batteries.
The heart monitor batteries,
600.
600. Yeah, we got, think so, because we could easily forget something.
We have a total?
1231.16, but that's an approximate. We could do 1250 or whatever.
Okay, a motion for the appropriation of those monies requested by the fire chief for the described items.
I so move at, what do we want to make it, 1250? It's just,
$1,250.
yeah.
Second on that, trustee Morris?
Yeah, I second that for the EMS
Okay, trustee
expenditures.
Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Morrison?
Yes.
Trustee Spellman, yes. Thanks, chief.
Did you want that back? Or?
Chief just is gonna hold this book up and show you how much was involved in the years of the ISO.
So, compiling.
Just he'll hold up the book, we're not discussing because we won't get into,
That's all right.
that was what's involved.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
Okay, we have committee reports. Anybody willing to go?
Last month, Karen had a letter saying that Dave Allen submitted a resignation, but what it was Dave Allen is retiring from PERS, and that's just, we got a form letter stating that so he can start his PERS, and I want to make a motion that we reinstate him to the Zoning Board of Appeals to finish his tenure, or, his term there. This is just a formality that the state sends these letters out, and I believe he resigned September 28th, and then at this date today, we'll reinstate him to the same position he was on the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Okay, second on that? I'll second that. All in favor? Trustee Lewis?
No. And the reason behind the decision for the minutes is when you're a member of a judicial board and there's a possibility of a case that would possibly come in front of your board, taking a position in a lawsuit one way or another in that case shouldn't be, it just is bad judgment, and a member of that board needs to use better judgment, so I vote no to reappoint him.
And if we're explaining, is that the signing of the writ of mandamus?
Yes.
Where the citizens ask us to do our job?
Already I stated my answer.
And I stated what the writ of mandamus was about and what the signing of that was. And I don't know if that's reckless for citizens to require us to do our job. I think that's...
Already I stated the reason on my vote, move on.
Can I make a statement like that I just did? Include mine.
You got to finish your...
I'll second that, and I'll vote yes.
And I'll vote yes.
We weren't surprised.
Serve well. Anything else, Laura?
No. Committee report. Are you asking?
Yeah.
That wasn't my committee report. Kurt was.
Yeah, that was
in
my
his
committee. I'm done.
report. So you're done? Okay.
Yeah.
No, just, I sent an invoice to the county. I didn't realize with the grant for the rubber mulch that they were waiting for an invoice from Ellsworth Township, which I'd sent them our signed check or the quotes from David Williams. So he stated that the check was cut October 3rd, and did we get it?
The notice is in the mail drawer.
I went through it last night. I didn't see that. Okay, and other than that, just the updates are done with the website.
Okay, is that it, Laura?
Mhm.
Okay, and mine, Matt was able to get a hold of Lordstown on the shared services about the salt. They can meet with us Friday, 11 o'clock, or Monday. I'm looking at, I left that open for the two things because I didn't know what your schedule would be, but Lordstown.
Let's shoot for Monday because we're finishing up Berlin Center here.
Okay. Still working on those problems on Western Reserve Road. I'm not going to give in on, those are on the eastern and western part of our township. Matt, I may also lean on you since you're in this position, a township inventory. We need to do that so that we make ourselves available for some of these grants that I'm working on. And I'll tell you what that inventory includes. It has to do with if we had any bridges or if we had any dams or even some traffic barriers and things like that. So
What grants are you working on, Artie?
I'm working on the things that make us available for the grant, and then I'll pursue those things when.
No, I mean, it is in terms of the blighted homes, or what are we talking?
That's a different issue. That's the AG, and I've talked to this board about what we need to do is get somebody in here as an expert, but the Attorney General approved some money, and I've asked for a legal opinion, which through that experience on the land bank said that the fire department can get reimbursement for some of the burning down these houses that have gone through the nuisance and have gone through all the abatements.
Mm-hmm.
I'll continue to work on those. Lastly, Laura, the last meeting you charged that I was suing you, and I asked you to look at that and ask you if you want to stand in that position to make that public charge. I'm asking you to reconsider that and clarify your comment, because I've never sued anybody.
Last meeting?
The meeting before, and I asked you last meeting to give you 30 days to
Artie,
try to understand.
I don't know how many times we have to discuss this. We have to go through this every meeting. The insurance company issued a statement about not talking about this and saying that, if you have anybody approaching you with questions or whatever, that you're to just refer them to the people that are now handling it.
Well, then why would you say that I am suing you? Artie Spellman isn't suing anybody. I guess it stands like that.
I'm not being sued technically either. So let's just.
And neither am I, except I'm suing you, right?
Move on.
Would you like that, Mr. Spencer? Somebody charging you with that?
You did.
Or you usually make all these allegations, meeting after meeting, you show your intelligence.
You did it once to me.
Move on. Business.
You still haven't told me who told you that I supposedly called the health department on you. You made that accusation to my face in the public meeting, Artie, and you never backed it up.
Let's move on.
So don't say that I'm pulling false allegations.
We can I got welcome mats at every one of my doors. You can come to my house anytime that
I
you
don't want
want.
to come see you, Artie. I see you enough here once a
And
month.
that's why you act the way you do here. Because I have a kind heart.
Artie.
Artie, you're chairman.
You're doing good. Move on.
Run the meeting, Artie.
Come on, don't let him get into this. Let's go.
We'll go to the unfinished business, other than Larry's. Board, we have any?
I have no unfinished business
No.
tonight.
New business.
Have any new business here that we wanted to bring up tonight?
Nope.
I think we covered that trick or trunk. Karen, did you want to talk about that? We have that, we have a date and a time for that. We enjoy that.
October 27th, 3 to 5 p.m. at the fire station. I asked Matt if he could put it up on the marquee for us.
The 27th, or what time?
27th of October, 3 to 5 p.m. That's Sunday afternoon. We will be serving hot dogs and chips and drinks, and there will be sausage and peppers and onion sandwiches for the adults if you'd like. And we'll give out prizes for the best decorated vehicle and the best costumes and age groups, including the family dog. And what we ask you to do, if you like, you can either come and just sit and pass out your candy, but if you really want to participate, we ask you to decorate your vehicle. And then come in costume if you want and pass out your candy there. It's a safe avenue for the kids to have Halloween.
Yeah, it's a great idea in a rural area that we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Brings the kids to the places.
Started out as a 4-H project, and that young lady's now in college, so Fire Corps taken it over. So it continues.
Okay, then our next meeting will be November 13th, right here. We are going to talk about the special meeting will be post-notice, and hopefully we can all attend that. The public is welcome to that.
We're looking at October 22nd, right? Did we say tentatively a time?
7 p.m.
7 o'clock.
It's we need the 23rd with the weekend.
The 22nd is what day?
It's not a whole 10 days because you have the weekends in between there.
That's
I
what
don't,
I gotta
the
check
papers
those
are issued
numbers.
on weekends though, so I think it'd be calendar days, I think.
If you can't count the weekend, you have to move it forward.
Yeah, if we
I
cannot.
think we can, because Saturdays they serve notice, Sunday people official paper.
So,
The 22nd,
which is a Tuesday, we believe.
7 p.m.
It is a Tuesday.
Okay,
Here, Town Hall.
town hall.
Before you put the notice in, we'll all confer with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything, Randy? Anything tonight? Does it be anything?
Yes, I had mentioned last year about, down at the cemetery, about the decorations. And, I noticed in the winter, they were blowing all over. And then that causes the people that have to go pick them up, the people that work. And, if like other cemeteries, it should be posted that the decorations should be taken off at such and such a time.
I think
Because it does
you
look
replace the
messy.
rules up there.
We do have rules, and at the meeting, I did find the rules, and at one of the trustee meetings, I asked them to post it in the roundup that we're gonna start enforcing them.
Mhm.
And even some of the decorations that aren't supposed to be there, we've left them until they start to look pretty bad, and we're starting to take things off gently, just to keep the cemetery looking nice.
And I believe that the old rules that were found are posted up there in a legible form now.
And they're up by the pump.
Because when I've even gone down there, I've picked a lot of stuff up and put them in the trash. And I know down at Salem, where my grandmother's at, they just automatically just take them down if you don't pick them up.
And we try to do a daily drive-through and pick up, anything that fell over, or, something fell over by the wind, we try to put it back up, or, some of the flags.
There was a time
Some of the-
it looked horrible all along that property line, remember, Mrs. B? And we took veterans flags off, and they want them up till November 11th, which is Veterans Day.
And the only ones I'm removing are the ones that are broken, and saving those in a box to give to the VFW when it's all done, so they can dispose of them properly.
We'll try to post notice, maybe if we'll make up a sign, we can seasonally put up, by this date, take these down. Maybe we can use our roundup, but we'll train the public and it'll get better. Thank you for that suggestion, though, because I know what you mean. We'll go from fall to the winter,
The cemetery
Christmas.
does look very nice, and the trees are down now, and that was a very nice job that was done. The stumps are out, and
Grass is starting to grow.
Thank you, Ms. B. Jim, anything?
Yeah, yeah, I just want to compliment Kurt on his decision of not to run again. I think he sets a fine example for you, Artie, in a couple of years.
oh my God.
Just my opinion.
Wow.
I'm a very well-loved guy in a lot of places, Jim. My mom loves me, Jesus loves me. I know that.
Artie actually
Thank you.
going to, and I actually like Kurt too, but your trustees, you failed.
Okay. All right.
So the third trustee.
Ronnie, anything? Thanks for your input tonight.
Hey, Art, you passed me up.
Oh, man. You need to get a special building there. Go ahead.
Well, you did not relate to Mr. Durkin not being here again tonight, but does he have another official reason why he's not here again? You know, it is in his job description. If it doesn't pertain to him in his job description, I suggest you take it out.
I said I would request that he be here at the next meeting, Larry. That's what I said, and you heard me on that.
Yes, but you didn't say why he wasn't here tonight.
Larry, I went to work at 10 after 4 this morning, and I drove straight to here from work. So I don't keep Mr. Durkin's water. I don't know. He forwarded a report.
You had his
And
report.
he emailed it to me. It didn't fall in my paper box. It came in an email. It was a good one. Thank you, Larry.
You're welcome.
Bob, you have anything?
No.
Fred, you have anything tonight?
Well, I didn't, but since someone wants to take over the trustees, I want to tell you that I support 100% all three of them. I think they have done a job to the best of their abilities. Sometimes we don't all agree with them, but I don't think we need to get personal with them. And I think that was very low.
Good. I'm glad you came and expressed your view. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Good. No
Doesn't have to be
problem with that.
true. It's just that. What we do. Lee, you have anything?
No.
Gary, you have anything tonight?
I just want to agree with Mr. Houston 100%. That was uncalled for, and I think you guys are doing a fine job.
Thank you. Becky, you have anything tonight?
Just hurts to hear things like
This is a
that.
group that's doing the coffee for the cause. They've still trying to form the nonprofit. They've actually helped some people, and they're trying to position themselves to help more people for the holidays and some other efforts in the veterans area, being that we have November 11th coming up.
I think they need a hand.
Hank, do you have anything?
No, just talking to her for a minute, that's all. Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, I know you speak highly of the fire department. They've used them, and we've seen them in our neighborhood, and the chief has left, so we can't blow any more smoke there. Kelly or Shelley?
I'm going to take a cheap shot since somebody else already did. Too bad Laura didn't follow Kurt's example and not run either. I agree with you.
Ms. Strickler?
Two things. First of all, has all that back information finally been submitted to Quest? You know, there was a big discussion and
Yes, it's all done.
it's all up to date? Okay, thank you. And the other thing is, I find it very interesting that Mr. Spencer is so concerned about the zoning inspector not attending the meetings, but he doesn't care that the EMS fella doesn't attend or the zoning commission chair doesn't attend. So to me, that clearly is a personal political attack on the zoning commission, or else he would be concerned about all of the officers.
The other people are not elected officials, man.
Let's not have an
They
exchange.
are.
The zoning
They
inspector
get
is
paid
not
through
elected.
us.
The zoning inspector is not elected.
He's appointed,
And so are the others.
but he's appointed through
What's
these
the
people.
difference? What's the difference in the different positions?
In his job description, it says for him to be present.
It does not.
It does.
You've already, it does not. When he read it a couple months ago, it said he would provide a report. It didn't say he would personally have to attend the meeting.
In 2 sentences, it stipulates that he should be there.
It's a personal attack on Mr. Durkin. That's all it is.
It's the truth. It's not a personal attack. It's the truth.
Personal attack.
It's the truth.
Let me explain something. That's why Ellsworth gets top billing in Western Reserve News. It's not flattering.
Well, wait a second, it's not only Larry.
Yeah.
If the lady can't make a comment without him turning around and exchanging it, this is what Larry does. He won't accept an answer, he doesn't have to have
It's a wrong
carry on
answer.
dialogue, there we go.
It's a wrong answer.
Larry, you're getting real close. Thank you tonight. Jim Tripp, thank you.
Well, I wasn't gonna say something, but
It's hard not to.
I guess I can start off by saying I think censorship is alive and well in Ellsworth. I happened to look at the comments that are in the minutes about some of the comments of the report that I gave last month on the township being sued. And I noticed there might have been one or two words left out. And I think probably every single word I spoke would be in the minutes tonight if it was Artie Spellman or Kurt Morrison suing the township residents. I got a feeling it would be that way, so that's all I have to say.
Mr. Tripp, it was already occurred that changed it from being so detailed, and furthermore, that in the last month or 2 months ago, it was already incurred that brought it up and said, hey, they're too detailed, and they need to be less detailed. So Karen is just jumping through hoops, trying to do what we want her to do.
Mr. Tripp, one word can change the meaning of a sentence.
That's true. Well, there was only 10 words here, and 10 words, so, yeah, I guess it could have been, but I would say that this was not editing. I think this was clearly censoring. That's my opinion.
In my tenure as a trustee, I get it from other townships because they know the reputation of our township. But they tell me, why do you have the good of the order? Why do you continue to do that? You should have a request to be put on the agenda. You should have a request to speak. You should be given a time slot if the time allows to do that. One thing about me, I'm a real republic kind of believe thing. I believe that people should have the opportunity to speak. It's what we do with that speech is something that it's hard to take. I'll keep continuing to allow the good of the order, however toxic it gets, however wonderful it is. I'm going to continue to do that. That isn't to say that grab and say that I want to blame and edit the minutes. Randy, you have anything tonight?
No, sir.
Get a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I want to thank everybody for coming.
You're welcome.
Larry, we'll take the motion to adjourn.
It is entertaining.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Hey, you need anything for Saturday?
Real-